The world of movie making and becoming a popular actor within Hollywood gives you an amazing benefit of having lots of money. Today we're going to be talking about how much money many of the cast of the Avengers films made throughout the course of their entire career. Starting off with Samuel Jackson, who played Nick Fury, obviously. Now, unfortunately, his involvement in films has been limited to cameos for the most part, but in the first Avengers film, where he was a very important character, he took home around $6 million. Must be nice, eh? But the thing is, compared to the main cast, this is pennies. Moving on to Mark Ruffalo, who plays the Incredible Hulk. Sad to see what they've done to that character, for being real. But just because over time the character has been ruined, it's quite the opposite for Mark Ruffalo's paycheck. As after the first ever Avengers film, he took around $3 million home, which is very good. Half of Samuel Jackson's though. So you're probably wondering, bro, what do you mean Samuel Jackson's looked like pennies compared to everybody else? Well, I'm gonna tell you, in Avengers Age of Ultron, he took home another $3 million, followed up by Avengers Infinity War, where he took home $6 million, and then for Endgame, he took home $15 million. This isn't even counting other appearances like in Thor Ragnarok, where he played quite a vital part during the film and at the climax. It's just absolutely ridiculous how much money these guys can make for being an actor in the MCU. And I know the MCU is massive, but like, Jesus, 15 mil? You don't really ever need to work again after that. Moving on to Jeremy Renner, who plays Hawkeye. Now, there actually isn't a section for Infinity War. Was he in Infinity War again? I don't even remember. I think like he was away or something, so it doesn't actually show how much he got paid for this film, because I don't think he was actually in it. But for the Avengers, he was paid $3 million. Very good amount. Age of Ultron, he was paid double at $6 million. And of course, in Endgame, like most of these actors, he was paid the most he's ever been paid for a single appearance, $15 million also. Absolutely ridiculous. Although we are getting to the big boys now. Chris Hemsworth, the current person that portrays Thor. Now, this is going to be a shock to some people, but in the first ever Thor film, he was only paid $150K. Quite interesting. Now, at the time, that was probably a good amount of money for him, if we're being for real. And it doesn't actually show Thor the Dark World or Thor Ragnarok here, so I don't really know what's going on there, but it does show the rest of the films. For the Avengers, he was paid $3 million, much like the rest of the cast. For Age of Ultron, it was $5 million, so not actually $6 million like the other ones. It was $5 million. And then in Infinity War, he was paid $15 million, which is a huge jump. And then in Endgame, he was paid another $15 million. There's a lot of 15 millions here, but I do feel like that's gonna end now with what's his name again? Chris Evans, that's the one. Captain America, you will know him. For the first Captain America film, he was paid $300K, double what Chris Hemsworth was paid, and this was produced and made in the same year. Doesn't show the other two Captain Americas though. Don't really know what's going on there, but I can't be bothered to search it up. We can only assume it was around the million mark. But for the Avengers, it was $3 million. For Age of Ultron, it was $15 million. For Infinity War, it was another $15 million. And for Endgame, it was $20 million, the highest one yet. Absolutely fucking ridiculous that people get paid this much. But no, wait, there is more. Scarlett Johansson. Everybody knows Scarlett Johansson. She's Black Widow. She's been in the franchise since the beginning. And for her appearance in Iron Man 2, she was paid $400K. Like, what? Why was she paid so much? I know she was already a big actor at the time, but fucking hell. But for the Avengers, she was paid $1 million, which is weird because that's lower, I'm pretty sure, than the rest of them. Avengers Age of Ultron, she was paid 20 million for Age of Ultron. Why? Then she was paid 15 for Infinity War and 15 for Endgame, respectively. So she made more off of Age of Ultron than Infinity War and Endgame. Obviously not put together, but the payout was higher than both of those films. It's quite crazy. Then finally, we have Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. We already know this guy got paid. It doesn't say Iron Man 2 or 3's paycheck here, but we know he got paid for that. For Iron Man, he was paid $500K, $500,000. This film came out in 2008. This was the first official MCU film. It's ridiculous. But you know what's even more ridiculous? The Avengers 2012, initially he was paid $10 million that later went up to $50 million. Yeah! Damn! That's a lot of money. And for Age of Ultron, we were talking about how Scarlett Johansson's 20 mil was ridiculous. Well, he got paid 4 times as much at $80 million. Are you fucking correct? Can I get some of that? please. Then in Infinity War, it just doesn't even stop. Thought to be around $75 million for Infinity War. Then going on to Endgame, $20 million initially, later around $75 million again. That is insane. And you have to give Marvel the props that they deserve for paying these guys well to portray their very popular characters. Because if you didn't know, a lot of these characters weren't really that popular before the MCU came along. Iron Man certainly wasn't main character material, but Robert Downey Jr. turned Iron Man into a household name. Same with Chris Evans with Captain America, same with Chris Hemsworth with Thor, Scarlett Johansson with Black Widow, Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, and Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk, as well as Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury. They turn these characters into household names for years to come, and you have to respect them, and they deserve the wealth that they got for that 100%. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and subscribe. I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and everybody coming to my videos giving their opinions, it means a lot. Even if you disagree with me, it does not matter. Feel free to leave your opinion. I do not care, because not everybody is an exact copy of each other, and if you do share the same opinions as me, that's valid as well. Thank you.